Hello, hello, good morning. Welcome. It's Wednesday, so it is LinkedIn Live. We're just live with Nana because you might be joining me from another platform. If you are tuning in live, definitely pop in the comments and say a hello. Um, I'm not going to get super deep into the politics, but what I will say is this morning, maybe feeling very challenging and discouraging and uncertain when it comes to the future um, for you. On the other side, there's a whole bunch of people celebrating. Interesting. Think about the other side. Um, but even with that, continue to do what you do. Continue to operate in your zone of genius. Continue to show up. Continue to add value. Continue to do what you do. Do not let the results of this election deter you from the path that you are on to manifesting the life you desire, for being great at work. Don't let it stop you. Let it fuel you. All right? All right. Now that I've said my 2 cents on that, let's dive into today's conversation because the real of it is I almost canceled this live again. Last week I had to cancel live because work was working and I was like, I just don't have it in me. And I was glad that I just said, you know what, can't do it. And then today I was like, oh gosh, I'm about to cancel this again. And then I said, no, you're not. No, you're not. Like, you're not going to be sitting in your feelings. What you're going to do is show up and do the things that you do best. All right? Thank you so much. Also, we about this content and I have a marketing strategy and we will be repurposing this video content. Okay. So today we are talking about why your style should evolve as your career evolves. And I think this is just really a notion, an idea that sometimes we let fall by the wayside and we don't really give some intentional thought to. And, I'm all about intentionality when it comes to your style, your wardrobe, your presence. And so you want to be thinking, how is, and I think it's really that piece. How is your overall presence? The way that you engage with people, your level of confidence in meetings, your level of confidence in leading teams, in presenting materials. How are you building up these skills, right? How are you building up your overall confidence about the way in which you show up and how people experience you and what you're remembered for when it comes to your skills? How are you doing that in your job? And hopefully you have some great mentors and or sponsors to support you and drop some nuggets in your ear along the way. But if you don't, I am here. You are welcome. Because one of the biggest things that I'm going to share with you is that you want to be mapping out a plan for yourself and your career, right? You want to be mapping that out. And that includes the technical piece, which is all about a certification and, whatever your space is in terms of your talent and skills, really putting in the effort to learn the most in that field, right? Yes, that is 100% on point and necessary. It's also important for you to be considering other pieces that impact your personal brand, right? And also pieces that impact your image. And those things are connected. So style is just a component of your image and your personal brand. It is something to be thinking about when you're looking at the whole picture. So as you begin to get stronger in your career and you are learning more about your skill sets and your talents, what you do well, what you don't, right? What it is that people really see as the most valuable pieces of the work and what you offer to the team or clients, the more you're doing things, the more clarity you're gonna get. And as you're getting that clarity, peep game about what's happening in your wardrobe, right? When you first started in your career and you were coming into the workplace, your biggest drive was just like, I just want to be professional and impress people, right? I want to be professional and I want to impress people. Like, and really tried and true, that sentiment and that desire stays with you for a really long time. Okay. But that's just your primary focus. You're like, I just want to remain professional and I want to make a good impression with my colleagues. And that's fine when you are just starting in your career. But that intention must evolve. It has to evolve beyond that. And what happens is it inevitably does, because you begin to have more of a solid understanding of where you bring the most value to the table. And that begins to impact how you enter into different scenarios, into different rooms, into different speaking engagements, client presentations, etc. So as you're watching your career expand, and hopefully that plan that you've mapped out, you're making moves along that path, you want to take a pause to assess what we call the ABCDs of image. And that's your appearance, behavior, communication, and digital presence. All right, your appearance, behavior, communication, and digital presence. And these four ingredients really help, like, put together in a real cohesive way your total image, right? Your appearance is your wardrobe. It includes your beauty, your hair, your skincare, your nails, your hygiene, all of these details. Your behaviors, your nonverbal cues, right? Your body language, your eye contact, your posture, what you do with your hands. I'm the hand talker. Communication, so key. How you're able to clearly and articulate ideas and thoughts, right? How you're able to do that with sound confidence. These are all pieces that you want to make sure you're giving thought to. And of course, lastly, look, in great timing, because the digital presence queen has just entered the building. Hey, Portia. Talking about your digital presence, which really is important around what does your LinkedIn profile look like, right? When people Google you, what kind of images come up? What kind of articles have you maybe written? What thought pieces are out there about you? What videos have you maybe done? Have you been interviewed? You know, what's coming up? What is that collateral? What does that material look like? All of these pieces come together when people are thinking about your personal brand, because it helps them think about how they remember you, what you're most known for. So I think when you first start out in your career, your personal brand is something that you're not giving a whole lot of thought to. And if you're not, and you are like starting out in your career, maybe like within the first 1 to 3 years, then you really want to be giving thought to your personal brand. You really do. Okay. And so just don't let that fall to later in life, or once you get into management or senior management. Start to really think about your personal brand right now. Okay. Portia girl, I almost did not show up. But I said, no, I will stay the course. So it's really important for you to think about that personal brand element. What do you want to be remembered for? What is most unique about you? How are you differentiating yourselves from your peers, from the sea of other competition in your industry? What makes you stand out? That's the thing that's evolving, right? As your career expands, that is the thing that's changing and shifting, is that personal brand, because you're not the same person you were as a junior consultant that you are now as a managing partner or director or VP. You're not the same girl, right? So you are evolving. So therefore, you want to be looking at How is your wardrobe, along with all of those other elements, your behavior, communication, and digital presence, how are you making sure that all of those things are evolving too, so that it is an actual representation of who you are today? Understand? Right? Yeah, you have to Google yourself. I would encourage, if you don't Google yourself often, just Google yourself and see what comes up. Definitely go to the images part and see what's happening there. Hey, Miss Tammy, thank you so much. I got these at a thrift store. They're like $2. So, you want to make sure that you're giving thought to what is changing for you in your career around that. And a lot of that can really tie to your visibility. So as you begin to climb and make different moves within your career, your visibility shifts. Before, you may have been just at your desk, at the cubicle, with your laptop, working away, right? Because when you first enter into the career, into the workplace, your goal is to be professional and make a good impression. So you are doing that through your work, being the hardest worker, most skilled, et cetera, et cetera. Then things start to shift when when people start to recognize your value, right? And they start to see you as a valuable contributor, and you start letting more of your uniqueness come out. And then that creates some different dynamics, which may be where you're at now, where your visibility is increasing. So you are the one who's being selected to make the presentation to your clients. You're the one who's being selected to travel to different conferences and speak on behalf of the company, right? You're selected to do the recruiting and bring in new candidates to the firm, right? Your visibility is growing. And that's an amazing place to be within your career. So as your personal brand is evolving, as your visibility is growing, you got to check in. What is happening in the wardrobe department? What's happening in terms of how you are showing up? You can't still be rocking that same early 2000s Ann Taylor suit set. It's classic, but it's given 2008 classic. You know what I'm saying? You want to be 2024 classic. All right. So you want to give thought to this. And so when you're looking in your wardrobe, right? You want to think about these things, and there's a couple of spaces that I want to hone in on. The first is the quality. I think this is one of the biggest things that I see when I'm working with women, and their career has skyrocketed, right? And they are in the C-suite, or they are partners at their law firm, and they're looking back in their closet, and there is a time capsule element that is happening. It's like, oh, I remember I wore this dress when I first started at my first as a law clerk, or when I passed the bar. There's like a shout out to all these wonderful sheath dresses that were, in navy and khaki and black, that served you well for that first moment starting off in your career. And when you first start out in the workplace, there's so much pressure to just conform, right? And you just really want to feel, again, want to feel professional, and professional equates to just the status quo, like everyone else, just fitting in, not ruffling any feathers, just looking and operating like everyone else. But you soon realize that formula is not going to get you to the place you desire in your career. You have to start to stand out. And that comes in the work that you do, and that also comes in how you show up. So as you begin to understand that, your wardrobe starts to shift. And you also start to get more clarity about what your personal brand is. And that means, what is your personal style? You must have more clarity about what your personal style is. If you are out here just mimicking what people are throwing up on TikTok and Instagram, or just mimicking what your colleagues are wearing in the workplace, why? Identify what is unique to you, how you want to show up. Stop giving so much energy and effort into everybody else. Focus on yourself. Okay? Focus on you. What do you want your style to be? How is it going to be representative of you? It's a visual calling card, it's a visual business card for you. So, how are you going to let it be an impactful one? So, you want to understand what your personal style is. That's when things start to shift in your wardrobe, and you're going to start to see that the style that you currently have that has you in management, senior management, or even has you on the track to that, it's not the same style that you had 3 years into the company. It has to shift and evolve. And quality and updating the quality of your pieces is one of the simplest things that you can do. Um, that beige sheath dress did have corporate America in it, Joe Cole, right? At 100%. So your quality is a huge piece there. You want to be making sure that you are investing in things that are within your budget, because it's not just solely about money. Better quality doesn't mean higher price tag. That's not always a one-to-one. It really is about looking at fabric, making sure that fabric is of a great quality. We love natural fibers, our cottons, our wools, our silks. And then they might be blended in with some man-made situations, right? Might be have a little polyester, might have a little nylon, might have some other man-made fabrics and materials in them. But you really sometimes want to just flip that label on the inside of a garment and see, is this 100% silk, or is this faux silk? Because after a long period of time, it's not going to last as long, and the quality is not going to be as great. So you want to consider what the fabric quality is of your garments and start to think about just investing 10, 15% more in what you're purchasing, if that means the quality is going to be better. All right. And in particular, when you're talking about quality, you want to focus in on the pieces that you wear the most for work. So in a lot of cases for us, that's going to be in your blazers. That's going to be in your pants, dresses, right? Those are the pieces that you're going to wear often in the workplace, especially if you're in a lot of client-facing roles, right? So those blazers and those jackets that have unique styles and cuts to them, maybe bolder colors or prints, wear those pieces, but mix it up when it comes to the quality piece. You might buy some at a slightly higher price point and mix those up with some lower price point pieces, right? So that might be some dope blazers from Zara, because Zara got a bunch of them. Okay, price points are amazing. You can find a dope blazer anywhere from $80 to $150, right? And so you might be mixing that up with a really great a really great dress from Theory, as an example, right? That is going to be at a slightly higher price point, but of great quality. And also too, sometimes we can get so caught up in where to buy, where to shop. I guarantee you this: some of the places that you currently shop at, like the go-tos for work, like I'll be playing around with Ann Taylor, but Ann Taylor's current emphasis on current is great. It's great. Great pieces that work amazingly well. So you got your Ann Taylors, your Banana Republics, your J. Crews, right? You have these kinds of shops that have plenty of workwear basics. There's nothing wrong with them. They're fantastic. But what you want to be certain to do is be updating your wardrobe as you're moving along. You can't be carrying those same pieces from 20 years ago. That's the problem that I see in wardrobes and closets. Okay, people got them same pieces, and I'm like, sis, the quality, this sweater is pilling. This blazer, the color, like you done ironed it, now it's got them little, them little ironing stains because you put on too much heat, right? Because the quality was a polyurethane. Okay, like that is what's happening to the quality of your material, of your clothing. And so you want to be a lot more intentional and thoughtful about saying it's time to revisit. If I've been holding on to pieces and these are 10 years old, maybe even less, you know, you want to examine the quality, the color, the fabric, the material, what's happening to it. And if it's not, if that leather is peeling, again, if that sweater is peeling, it's time to let it go. It's time to let it go and begin to start setting aside that budget for yourself, or saying, you know what? That next bonus, that is going to go into the wardrobe. Okay. You know them ironist things. It's so real because you've been flued out, okay? And you're up in these hotels. You're using those irons. Some of them they ain't all treated the same, okay? But you do want to give thought to quality in terms of your pieces. And then, like I said, in terms of thinking about where to shop, because this is often one that people think about. Yeah, things will evolve and you do want to be introduced to other brands. So you might be shopping, like I said, at that Banana Republic or that Ann Taylor. And that's great because you're going to get a lot of great wardrobe staples. And don't get me started, because Ann Taylor, I was just shopping for a client on Ann Taylor today and I was like, oh, they got some colors popping. It's amazing. But what you also want to do is begin to incorporate some other brands. I always recommend a mix of high and low, mixing in pieces that are, again, high within your budget. So for you, the high end, and this speaks to this, you want to have a range, right? You want to have a range in which you're going to invest in pieces. All right. You might at the low end say $150 for a suit, but maybe at the high end it's 500. Okay. So you can cop to Ann Taylor and get that suit for 150, but at the $500 price point, maybe you're going to Reiss to get your next suit, right? Maybe you need to up that a little bit more and go to a Veronica Beard to get your next suit. Or just maybe you're going to get a blazer, right? Maybe you're going to get a blazer because the quality of that blazer is fantastic and it's going to fit into the rest of the pieces in your wardrobe, and you can mix and match. So begin to think about what your range is in terms of what you allocate for shopping. And you may need to, again, increase it by 10, 15, maybe even 20%, and start to think about, where am I shopping at not just the low end, but the middle and the higher end of that range. Okay. And so I hope you're understanding that as your career is growing, as you're gaining more visibility, as you're getting more clarity in your skill set and your talents, you're thinking about this and your personal brand is evolving. How you show up, what people remember you for, all of those pieces are impacting your image. They are all impacting how you are remembered and how you show up in a workplace. And so because of that, you want to evaluate your appearance, behavior, communications, and digital presence, that cohesive mix of your professional image. Take stock. I tell folks all the time when I'm doing workshops, I say, do a simple red, yellow, green rating for yourself in each of those 4 areas, right? Green, you're like, yes, I'm crushing it. I think I'm doing very well. Yellow, I'm making some strides, but I need some improvement. Red, absolutely not. It's terrible. Yes, Veronica Beard and Reiss are actual stores. And Reiss is Reiss. I put it in the chat. Yeah, I ain't gonna tell you we gonna be fake out this mud. We're gonna tell you real stores. Okay. Yes. So as you are thinking about your as you're thinking about your style and your wardrobe, check in. Do that red, yellow, green stoplight assessment for yourself in those ABCDs and see where you might need to be making the most investment. Right? When it comes to your image, maybe it's your communication skills that aren't the best. So you might need to join Toastmasters, right? Or maybe you need to hire a coach, right? Shout out to Rhonda Khan if you're looking for a public speaking coach, right? So you have to assess yourself, just like you do a DISC assessment and understand your, what your best attributes are, and, all of the different kinds of personal assessments that give you some great acronym and some letters, and they mean some important things. Those are great places to reference because it gives you insight, right? This is no different. It's going to give you some insight into where you are, where the areas of improvement are, as we so like to say. All right. And then that can help you steer yourself in the right direction to figure out where I need to make the most investment to just improve my overall image. So definitely think about that quality piece. Definitely think about expanding your range of investment. Okay. And then begin to really think about how you are experimenting in the spaces of your accessories and your shoes. All right. So I'm going to leave y'all with a low hanging takeaway. When it comes to your accessories and your shoes, this is another space that sometimes is forgotten, along with your beauty. Let me throw that in there, because immediately when we think wardrobe, we always think about the clothing, but we can be negligent when it comes to our shoes, our jewelry, handbags, and our beauty, skincare, makeup, hair. What are we doing in all of these areas? Like, as you grow in your career, that hair might need to change up. Before, you weren't giving too much effort into it, but now you need to hit the salon every month. Or you need to DIY on YouTube and learn how to do it yourself. Really, though, you ain't got time for that. So you really probably need to hit the salon. Right? Because at the level that you had right now in leadership, you really probably ain't got time. Okay? So you want to be looking at this as a total package, right? Thinking about this as a total package. You want to really look at your wardrobe and think about what I call the CAB: your clothing, your accessories, and your beauty. And in each of those spaces, that's what you use to kind of sift through when you're cleaning out, and you might be cleaning out or just even reviewing what you have. But you're going to be looking at your clothing, the quality. Does it make sense? Does it clear on what my personal style is for my clothes? And you're going to be doing the same thing in your accessories, your shoes, and your beauty. How is the quality? And does it align with the personal style and the personal brand for the career path that I'm on? Okay? That's right. Listen, because if bottom line, you don't have a lot of time. Time is a luxury for you. Everything is accounted for in your day. So you want to introduce ease into your lifestyle, and you want problems to be solved. So if you're in that space and you know that your wardrobe is a space that you're like, you know what, it is a complete time capsule, and there's so many things in here from decades ago, and I need help. That is what I do. I help women who are in highly visible client-facing roles just bring ease into their wardrobe by cleaning out what's no longer part of their style and introducing more pieces that are aligned with the career path that they're on and the leadership role that they are in or aspiring to be in. And, kind of special alert, if you are peeping this, we're rolling into a new year shortly, and the prices are all going up. Amen. So a lot of the prices for my services, I was going to say all of them are going to be increased in 2025. So if you have been thinking about working with me, if we have had some conversations and you keep saying the next year, the next season, etc., let this be a healthy invitation for you to send me a DM or book a discovery call with me. I'm going to be sending out and posting more targeted messages about this next week, because basically you will have until November 15th to contact me or get on my calendar, because your girl, her calendar for December is not available. Okay. So if you are interested and you know that your style needs to be elevated because your career is growing, DM me immediately so that you can lock in my rates for 2024 for next year. Because again, the price is going up. All right. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Portia. Yes, definitely. If you are not following me on LinkedIn, definitely follow me or send me a connection request. Thank you so much, Portia. Yes, I do post a lot of before and after pictures of my clients so you can begin to get an understanding of how your career can evolve when you have the right kind of support through a stylist and image consultant. All right. All right, y'all. I send you lots of peace, grace, and hugs for today in the next 4 years. All right. I will see y'all next Wednesday. Peace.